I think I've had, because I don't feel like I'm the person she should be following. I look up to Sherry as much as she looks up to me, so I'm honored that she said that. I was real excited when we talked about topics for tonight, and one of the things she mentioned was this inheritance of joy as a topic. And that's something that is close to my heart, and something that I know as women especially we can struggle with at times, because there are days when the weight of the world can just feel like it's on our shoulders. And the details of life. The older I get, the more I realize that men may see the big picture, but it's the women who see the tiny little details. And we take care of those details. But sometimes it's very easy to get overwhelmed with everything we have to do and all our responsibilities. And we just feel like a balloon that's deflated. And it's hard to find joy in those moments. And so tonight I want to talk to you about that. I want to talk about the inheritance of joy. Coming up on Mother's Day, it's interesting to think about what we're passing on. And you might have an antique desk, or a beautiful china set, or something that you treasure that you want to pass on to your children. But the most important thing we can truly pass on to our children is joy, and a way to live your life joyfully. And the neat thing about the inheritance of joy is it doesn't stop with our children. We can pass on that inheritance of joy to everyone we meet. So I wanted to start today by talking about what joy is. And I looked it up because I'm the kind of person where if I want to know something, I look it up, because I feel like I'm a blank slate. There's a lot of things I don't know, and I'll be the first to tell you if I don't know something, I don't know, but I'll find out. So I went to the dictionary and I looked up joy. And what was interesting to me was that it's considered both a noun and a verb. As a noun, it comes from the Middle English, Anglo-French, and it basically means an emotion evoked by well-being, success, good fortune, or the prospect of possessing what one desires. The prospect of possessing what one desires. That sounds pretty good. It's delight, the expression or exhibition of emotion, gaiety, the state of happiness or felicity, a source or cause of delight. So then I went to the verb version of joy and found that it came around in the 14th century, and that's where we get rejoice and enjoy on the verb side. I got to thinking about how joy is both a noun and a verb. We can be full of joy, but are we rejoicing? Are we living our life joyfully? And I started thinking about the times I don't. How do we find joy? It's real easy. You know, when things go our way, it's easy to find joy. It's right there in front of us. But it's when things don't go our way, when we're struggling with something, when you get that phone call, when you lose your job, when your husband is struggling, the doctor says the test is positive, when things are going wrong in our lives, how do we find that same joy? Because we can't pass it on if we don't have it. Just like that antique armoire you want to give to your children, if you don't possess it, you cannot pass it on. They cannot inherit something from you that you do not possess. So we have to find a way to find that joy, to possess it within us, so that we can pass it on as an inheritance. And as I got to thinking about joy, I started thinking about, what is the difference between joy and happiness? I really think the key difference between joy and happiness has to do with where it comes from. I think happiness comes from our circumstances. What's going on in our lives? You know, you get a raise, you're happy. You buy a new car, you feel so happy about that. Buy a new pair of shoes, right? Oh, I love buying a new pair of shoes. So those are things on the outside that can make us feel happy. But happiness is fleeting. Anything based on our circumstances is fleeting. It's not going to last. So I want to talk to you about the shoes you're in. And the thing that came to mind when I thought about joy, and I'll be the first to tell you, this is a daily struggle for me. And I am constantly humbled by God and reminded of how far I need to go to get to where He wants me to be. So I don't want to stand up here and tell you that, I'm just full of joy every day. I wake up and I laugh, and I go to bed and I'm smiling. I struggle every day. And I think God uses things in our lives for those teachable lessons that we can then take to the next step. We're all that work in process. So I want to talk to you about shoes. And shoes are interesting because the shoes we wear kind of represents where we are in life. And I've been to some interesting places. When I think of the shoes I wear, one of the things that comes to mind, about 2 years ago, we took our 4 children along with my husband's entire family and went to Disney World the week right after Christmas, which, by the way, is a very crowded time at Disney World. And I learned real quick that although they say it should be about 60 degrees in December in Florida, we had 92-degree temperatures. And it was hot and crowded and sweaty at the most magical place on earth. And I wore good shoes. I wore really good tennis shoes because I have really bad feet. And I have arch supports, and I get blisters, and I have all kinds of problems with my feet. But I thought, I wear my ugly tennis shoes, but they fit right, and my arch supports in, we are good to go. But we did so much walking, by the second day there, I took my shoe off at night, I kid you not, and looked at it, and I had blisters between my toes, under my toes, they were aching. And I was taking probably way too much Tylenol, ibuprofen, just to get through the day with the foot pain. Every night I started taking a picture of my foot. And it was the one foot over the other, because I wanted to document how bad I got. And I would, get my foot up there and get the camera angle going. My husband thought I was completely nuts. I had blisters and my feet hurt, and yet I was at the most magical place on earth. So they say, the most magical place on earth. You can be in the best place on earth. But if you can't find a way to walk in the shoes you're in, joyfully, it doesn't matter where you are. We've told our children that numerous times. It doesn't matter where we are. If you guys are going to fight, if you guys are going to argue, so here's the mom lecture. If you're going to do that, then it doesn't matter where we are. We're not going to have any fun. So it's all in the walk, not the shoes. So why do we go shoe shopping as women? Well, I thought of 3 good reasons. We go shoe shopping, number 1, we buy shoes that feel good. How many of you are wearing a pair of shoes tonight that you put on because they feel good? They're comfortable. I did. These are very, very comfortable, not high heels, when I know I'm going to be on my feet. They have cushion, they're good shoes. So we buy shoes because they feel good. We sometimes buy shoes because they're on sale. Right? We're all budgeting. How many of you have a pair of shoes on and you bought because they were on sale? All right. And the third reason, there's probably a million reasons because we're women, but I came up with 3 to talk about tonight. The third one is to match an outfit. Have you ever bought a pair of shoes to match an outfit? Or a purse or something? Now, when I was young, in high school, and we were going to proms and weddings and all that kind of stuff, the thing to do is to buy the dyeable shoes. They were like satin, they were really kind of ugly, but they were like white satin, and you could bring in a swatch of fabric, and they would dye them to match whatever prom dress you were wearing.